this is going to be a memorial rock for Sammy that they can put wherever they want. And I know that they like rocks. And I think it's a good size. I think it's a cute shape because it already has the shape of Sammy's head. I have a photo that works. I'm going to actually zoom you up a little because I don't want you to miss a thing. Kind of like Aerosmith. Let's start. I like to sketch with a Neocolor too on this because this is porous, right? And if I made a line that I didn't like, which is, it's just going to wash off. So, but it also gives you a little bit of color. So our picture of Sammy he has got some high ears. I'm just going to, let's show you Sammy. So there's Sammy. So his ears are high. His little head is there. So if I'm going to, all right, I'll do that. Let's look at our rock. So little Sammy, he's got his ears. Maybe I can see on the rock with this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we got ear here, here. I just want to make sure this rock is going to be appropriate, like it's going to work. And then the second ear is about the same height. So we got ear. I'm just going to mark it in like this because this is not making like a good enough line, but at least it's giving me some markers so I know where to put stuff. Let's see, there, little nose, face, snout. Maybe we can make his ears go a little higher. And then if we do that, if we do higher ears, we can raise his little dome head. And then we can do like that. We could do either side. Maybe I'll do this side instead. No. Let's wash this off. See, I'm like not nuts with that. Let's wash this off a little bit and start again. So this surface is a little smoother, but I think that this shape works better. This type of shape. So let's try with the white. Is this the white? Neocolor 2. Okay. Let's try again. So it would be cute to have his collar in there too, because he did love to wear his little collar. Let me do that. Okay. So we're gonna do, let's start out with where we want the nose, because I want to make sure like we get plenty of room for his little nose. Did I bite off more than I could chew this morning with this? Oh, that's too big. What am I doing? That's definitely too big. That's too big. I think I'm gonna have to go smaller. I think I'm gonna have to go smaller because little Sammy is little. But it'll be fun to have a little rock, right? A little portrait. A little portrait of him. His head should probably start here if I'm doing ears, right? Ear, head. I don't need to like do the whole portrait right now. I'm just marking out to make sure that I'm not gonna make any put things in the wrong place or whatever. I just want to make sure that I have enough room for everything, if you know what I mean. So his ear kind of starts down here and then does that. Okay, we can start marking out with that. And let's get a brush and let's get some paint going here. I'm going to start out with, let us start with that nice, I'm going to start out with that burnt umber because that'll provide something I can see. I'll be able to see it. And there we go. Let's do that so you can see Sammy too. So I think the burnt umber is a good place to start for like blocking him in. And then I'm just going to put a little down, just a little bit, not a lot. Not a lot. And maybe I'll use an even tinier brush for this part. And big question, can we do this in an hour? Can we? Don't know. See how this color is kind of like a cool? It's definitely like, let's do his little snout. There. He had a cute little chin. Just gonna block in some Sammy here. He had this dark patch behind his ear. And I'm going to use a lot of lighter paint over all this. So this is really a good little, you know, to like tell me what I'm using. This paint as kind of like my pencil or like my kind of like an underpainting, you know, because I'm going to paint light colors on top of this. So if I'm doing, I want to get where his little mouth is, that, and like that, and then he has a little bit of pigmentation there, and then he's got his little eyebrows here. I'll call you in a little bit. His little eyebrow there, and then there's little heads like that. And then his ears. I'm gonna just do his ears like that. Make sure I get his ears. So he had some little high ears. So we're gonna make this one a little pointier. This one is gonna be a little bit. See, this is what happens when you paint on something. Painting on something that is not flat is a different and new challenge, right? It's kind of a cool challenge. It's kind of a good challenge. I'm just gonna, oh, okay, my light's up all the way. So I'm gonna switch brushes to this one. I have this one. Oh, getting paint everywhere. Getting paint everywhere. Okay. Here we go. This is a round 2. I know. People like to know what kind of brush you use. Today I brought Princeton Selects because those are really my favorite brushes overall. If we're talking like general favorite brush, Princeton Select for me. Do his little ear. Sammy was a good dog. What a good dog. He lived a long time. Let's see. We have, let's make his nose a little darker. Because his nose is kind of like, his nose and his eyeball are like the darkest dark here. So his eye is here. Notice I'm not talking much. I want to get the slant of his eye right. So yeah, I know, maybe not like the most appropriate thing to paint on a live if I don't have a total zoom camera, but it's okay. I think it's fine. I like to give you guys a window into like how to integrate art in your life every day, you know? This is a really good example of it, honestly. And off camera the other day, I made a card for somebody, and I have more cards I'm going to make soon. Not birthday cards. There's always the question of making stuff for people that you don't know if they will appreciate it or not. So let me just tackle that one. If there's people that you feel are not going to like appreciate your piece of work that you make for them, don't make it for them. Buy them something. Because you have to protect your own like spirit. You know what I mean? I don't make stuff for people that I think don't value it. You know, like I just use my intuition there. I didn't ask anybody. I didn't say, hey, do you want me to make you something? I just won't, you know, because you just, that's what intuition is for. You just use your intuition. And sometimes you do, and then you're like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. So that's fine too. You just live and learn, you know. I've been there, done that, but you know, I have to say I am selective about that stuff, because the last thing I want to do is like make something with my own hands that is not appreciated by someone. Like that is not it. You know what I'm saying? That's not happening. Because the feeling when you give somebody something and you sense that they don't really appreciate it, that's kind of all the confirmation you need to not do it again, hopefully. I'm just going to move my paints over. That's my feeling anyway. That's my sense. That's how I am. You know, like, and sometimes if I make something for somebody for like a special occasion and, you know, maybe I don't know them well or something, but you do find out quickly. You know what I mean? You learn quickly, you know. Oh, how come I can't get this to balance right? Okay, let me do this. I'm going to build it. I'm going to make a little rock pile over here. There we go. All right, I'm going to have a sip of my iced coffee to celebrate. Cheers. And then we'll continue. I looked for my palette paper. So I'm a real, I like to use like parchment. Sometimes I'll even use paper. just like our cardstock or something. I just kind of use what's there for my palette sometimes because I actually tend to paint pretty small. But if I'm painting, oh, let me mix up my paint. What's going on here? See, I think today what we're doing is mixing on the rock because this is teeny tiny, and I'm a huge layer person, so I'm just gonna layer stuff. But I do need this. I'm just getting my base down of Sammy's cute little face. I think I got a good color though. Sammy, I got your coloring. Oh, that's a little. Just getting in the light. I'm getting in like the lightest lights, kind of. Like I'm working to my lightest value with this stuff straight, this titanium, unbleached titanium. And then after I get more paint down, I'm gonna go in with my truly lightest light later. I will grab the I will use the white later, just for like a couple highlights. Again, famous last words, we'll see. But that's what I'm gonna plan to do. It's kind of cool how the rock itself is a really nice color background for Sammy. It's like it kind of acts as a part of his base coloring, which is kind of cool. I like that. I'm gonna just tilt my rock a little bit so I can get some ear stuff. I'm going to turn my rock. Let's do his chest-ish area. Chin. That, I think. I'm gonna get a little. Going to get my little marble. A little marble. Boy, that helps. We'd have some leverage here. going to put a little bit more. Oh, I still have some. Good. I was going to say, I'm going to do a little more of this. Yeah, I think I'm going to put some over here. Just a dab. Just a little dibby dabby doo. There we go. This was fluid? Oh my gosh, this is not fluid. Okay. This is not fluid. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. Okay. My formerly fluid, I have some formerly fluid golden here, golden fluid acrylics, golden formerly fluid, no longer fluid. So I'm just layering now, and I'm just refining. I'm gonna do, there's a tiny little line on Sammy's eye. Just want to get the right texture for my paint, or the right thinness. This line here, you can see that, I'm not sure. Yeah, see the line here? See this? And then you see the white of his eyeball. I need to work on that a little tiny bit. I want to make sure my brush is even thin enough. I don't think it is. I'm going to use a thinner brush. I like to wet it before I put it into my paint because I don't want the paint to get stuck. I want those little fibers in the, I want those little fibers in my brush to be well filled with water before I do that. That's good. Okay, good. We're getting there. So see, I got a little, he's got a lot of pigmentation on the inner part of his eye. And then if it's his fur area, you know, and then it goes, so we're coming out into the under crease of his eye. Okay, so that's good. We got that. Now let's add a little more there. And then he has a little bit on the outside of his eye, you can see too. So, and I like how his nose upturns just a tiny little bit. It's funny. And he has a little snaggle tooth. And it's just sticking up right here. And I'm going to paint that in later, if I remember, that is. It's kind of hard to see, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. So it's like the same, kind of the same color as his skin, as his fur rather. So that's why I don't even know if it's very visible in the photo here, that if you're looking at the photo, I don't know if you can see it that well, but it is there. It's there. All right, I'm just rinsing out my brushes. Let me see what I got here. Oops, getting everything messy. Okay. Let's see what other brushes we have here. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this one a little bit. This is just a flat Princeton. This is in flat 2. You could even use a smaller one. I don't think I'm going to use the entire width of it, of the brush, but I just want to use it for some painterly strokes in here. And also you can use it for some little thinner parts of the line on the nose. Define his little nose there. And then his little head there. And it also helps to define the angles that are closer to the viewer. That on his face. This. And then we're going to do some fur. You ever have a dream and it's like, you can't remember your dream, but you know it was like some wild dream? I had one of those. I had one of those. I don't remember it, but I do remember there was something. That's good for those little marcations in there. This is good for that. The side. Just defining the direction of the hair is good for that. And then we're going to go down here because his fur is like that. The ear. The ear. Okay, I need more paint. I want to get the ear. I want to get this situation here. Hold on. I'm going to show you. I want to get this part. I want to get that part now. So I'm going to grab my real teeny tiny brush. A little bit of paint. Shake up my paint good. I think I picked like the perfect brown base for him. I really think it matches his coloring quite well. And so does this unbleached titanium. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. Did I even say happy Saturday yet? I don't think I did. Don't know. Okay, let's go into that ear. So this ear is on the curved side of my piece here, which makes it a little tricky. It's a slightly pointy little ear. And then the light part of the fur does like a kind of a loop down here. And then we go like, let's do a little, I'm basically painting the parts that are light, and automatically from that I'm going to get the dark parts are going to show up. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm focused on at the moment. And then I'll go in and do some refinements. I'm going to use a little bit of this like mid brown, kind of rusty color. It's really not very pigmented, but that's perfect for this because I really just want it to sort of, it's going to be all layered, you know. I'm not looking for intense pigmentation right now. I'm looking to I'm just building layers on this. Now, light, dark, light to dark. That's what I'm doing. Not very talky today, right? Not very talky. What's happening out there? Okay, we're going to grab some more of that. Grab some more of this brown and grab this little, get that little piece off. Gross. Gross. Let's dig it. Let's dig it out, shall we? Ugh. Okay, that's not going to work. Let's just do that. Okay. And this used to be fluid. This used to be golden fluid acrylic. It's now golden heavy body acrylic. That's okay. Still usable. All right, let's see here. Let's get back to this ear. We got darker pigmentation all the way around here. And then we really need to thin that out. Hey, that construction is ruining my sound. I apologize for that. I won't talk a lot because I'm not talking a lot anyway. So I guess it works out. I guess if they had to pick a day, today's a good day, right? Because a little bit. Do that. I'm gonna move like that. Make it a little bit easier to see. I guess if they were picking a day, although I have to tell you, this construction has been ongoing and it's actually sounds closer than it is, but it's really annoying and loud. I think here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a little bit of my dots here. Of my dots. This paint, this folk art paint. And this is going to be good to like glaze because it's kind of a glazing paint. It's not real pigmented, but that's exactly what I want right now. So, because he's got a little bit of peachy in there, you know, just like a little kiss of peachiness. And his little collar has a little peach in it too. But I need to pull you over like that because I can't see my picture well enough. Okay. Is that okay? All right. Good. There we go. So let's do a little teeny tiny blend. Just like that. A little water. I'm just using water to thin. Using my water to thin my paint because again, I'm very much just like glazing. I'm layering this stuff. So not looking for anything heavy-handed at all. This is just building the layers. That's good. Just the gentlest little teeny tiny bit of pink. A little tiny pink on his nose. A little tiny pink here. too watered down. There we go. And I'm just going to use my thumb. I'm just using my thumb as my palette here for a second. It's like you want to get just the right amount of water, you know? Just the right amount of water. And then on his little gums. So on his lower chin, his little gums are like really there. They're very visible. So and then he's got his little snaggle tooth, and I'm going to draw his little snaggle tooth, but I wanted to get some other things first. So he has a collar. It's a same color, really. It's like a light pink, and it's just barely visible through his fur. So that is why I just did a little pink there, because that's his little collar. So we're getting close. We are getting close here. And I'm just going to do some, ooh, I'm using full strength now. Whoa, this is wild. And I'm just pulling some hairs out and pulling out the parts that I feel can use a little bit. I'm just using my hand as a paper towel, basically. Oh, they took a break. Those construction guys took a break. Or guys and girls, I'm not sure. Others doing it. Let's do eyelashes on Sammy here. Little Sammy eyelashes. I used to do pet portraits a long time ago. I mainly did watercolor pet portraits. But I was thinking about something this morning. You know how people, sometimes artists say, sometimes people say, I like this medium, I don't, use this medium, whatever. You can really use any medium if you have your art skills. You just got to get to know the medium, you know? So it's more about like learning a medium and then applying your skills to like your combining your art skills and your skills with the medium. So really you can learn any medium. You know, whether you like it or not is a different story. But you can really learn any medium. You can learn any medium. And you can be successful at any medium. It's really a matter of what you like to do. And it's good to try different things. I really like acrylic paint. I have a lot of favorites. I got a lot of favorite mediums. I love watercolor. Although watercolor that's kind of I love watercolor, but I have, some things about watercolor don't always work for me. Like, you have got to have a way to dry your watercolor. I used to use a blow dryer. I think what I would do now is get, or what I should do. See, I still have my blow dryer, so it's kind of like, well, why get something else? Because something else is going to work probably better. My blow dryer is kind of on its last legs, if I'm being honest. And I think I could use one of those heat things. I would like to try that. I probably would like to try it before I buy it, or either that or watch other people use it on YouTube and then research which is the best one to get and all that jazz, because I would not want to buy a dud, and I don't have any experience with those at all. Although I have to say, I sometimes like just buying things because I see it in the store and I'm curious. That's also fun. In fact, I have something right over there that I did that with, and I still haven't opened the package. And I bought it a few months ago. I bought a burner, a wood burning tool, and I've always wanted to try it and see what I could do with it. And I got plenty of wood, so I do want to use it. I just haven't done that yet. And I want to get this little Sammy eye highlight. Good. So I'm gonna just grab. It's under my iPad. I'm gonna grab my white. Oh, it's not under my iPad. Oh my, I thought it was. Okay, it's under a paper towel. Is it? I don't know where it is. I think I might want to add a little bit more. I think I want to give Sammy a little bit more, interest to his coloring, because I have been using just these two colors, and he has more colors. So I'm gonna see where we go with this one. I have this. I have two. I have this Celadon. I think it's, yeah, this is a Celadon, but it's actually, I mean, if you ask me, I don't think it's really Celadon. I think it's like I think it's more of a medium gray. It's not really medium light gray with some bluish greenish tones, but it's still a warm gray. I don't know. Does that make sense? It's hard to peg that gray, which is one of the things that makes it great, but it's also makes it hard to peg. So I'm just adding in, this is a cooler color than that unbleached titanium, but it actually might not be dark enough for me. There, that's a little better. I want to add a little bit of, because Sammy he's a little bit, he's a little complicated, so I want to give him a little bit of his complicated coloring. And he's very grayish. He's very in between, And we still got to paint that snaggletooth. So do that. I don't want to overdo it either. I don't want to overpaint this. So we're almost done. Actually, you know what I just realized? And I know I said this before, but it didn't really just click into me until just right now. I know I said before that the color of the rock is really adding. It's kind of part of my background color. And I did say this, but I didn't fully acknowledge this, because that's partly why I brought out the grays. And, after just doing a few dabs of gray, I don't think I really need it. I'm just covering my grays now. I mean, I'm just covering up my grays. I have a little bit on my finger, so I can still play around with that. But I think what's going to be most, I think what's going to make the most impact right now, because the gray of the rock is a coolish gray, and it's a medium coolish gray, and it's actually it's like the same color basically as the colors I just did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my highlights. I'm going to do Sammy highlights because I think we're ready for it. I think we're ready for it. I think we're ready for the highlights. Some highlights. Sammy. I want to make sure you can see this. That. And we're going to do oh, I think I need to really reel this in close for a second. Okay. Okay, let's see. I'm putting my glasses back on. And now I'm going to just give them a little extra, give them that little extra highlight. Just, you know, see that snaggletooth? I know it's not white, but we're going to draw it anyway. We're going to paint it anyway, rather. I want to just highlight his little whiskers. There. And then we're going to do, so his snaggletooth is like right here. And it's kind of like beige-ish. But I'm going to do a little, do some shadow around it. Oh, darn, my paint all dried. Grab a little bit more of this burnt umber light. Just a little. Just a little bit. And then get the tooth going. Get the tooth. He's cute. He was a good dog. He was a good little baby. All right, let's see here. We got ear. We have I'm just going to use the brown, the burnt umber light for his collar. Oops, and then I think we're going to be good to go. But I did want to get his collar in there because I think I was kind of on the fence, but I do think collar is kind of, you know, part of his identity. And I think it's a nice addition in that way. So let's just do this little collar. And to add. This will make a nice gift, I think. They will really appreciate this. I also like it because, especially with people who appreciate different styles of art and different, you know, working on different substrates and things and different dimensional styles, I know they'll appreciate it because they appreciate that. So I know they'll like this. I'm making the collar, I know, famous last words, and I'm making the collar kind of more looser. I don't think I need to belabor the collar. How does that? Okay, so and then I will do a little bit of hair over the collar because it is like that. And then I'll do a little more hair under the collar because I do want to fill in that area too. So let's do that. Do that. Like that. That looks good. Sammy, you were a good dog. You had a nice, excellent life. Good baby. Good dog. He was a sweetie. Great, I think we're good. Don't overwork this. I think, do I want to add a tiny, yes. I'm going to do, as a last little bump, I'm going to bump up the darks just like a hair, just a hair. I'm just going to add a little tiny bit of black to the color I've been using, which is the darkest dark in the painting, which is this burnt umber light. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that and a little bit of water and do a little pile right here. And then I'm going to just add a tiny bit of black to it and see if I change my mind. Because I can, because I haven't put it on the painting yet. So I can totally change my mind if I want. But I think this is good. I think I'm going to use this because this is a good deep brown color now. So I'm just going to add my darkest darks here with this. And let's start out easy with the collar. Let's start out easy with the collar. A little bit A little bit there. And so, you know, highlight. So this is like a low light. This is your darkest dark. So on the nose right there. And then a little bit. He definitely had a little freckled nose. So let's do that. Freckled nose. So when you're doing portraits, these little tiny things matter so much to the uniqueness of your portrait. You know, these little, just those little tiny details. Close. I got an iPad that's going to die soon, so it's actually very good timing because we're almost done. So you see, it's like, I'm actually going to take my glasses off for this part. I'm going to look up real close here. Just do that. And then, because these tiny little darks really are going to help make it so much more personal, you know? And then there's a little tiny bit of dark at his little tooth, sticking out. Teeny bit right there. And then a little bit right there. So that looks like his little tooth. And oh, we got a nostril to do. Let's do the nostril. Okay. We can just do that like that. Really. See, so sometimes it's like these little tiny details at the end, right? It's little, like you just pull out those little tiny darks, and it can really make so much of a difference to the rest of it, you know? Just makes it pop. The little bit right here is kind of dark. Let's just do a couple little bits. I think I'm getting there. Okay, we're gonna do here. Ear canal. Right? We have our concave and convex. We have our little ear canal. And then I want to do a little more on his eye because I think we have dark on the outer edge. We have a little dark, and then we have the center of his eye. It's dark, and then it's brown on the outside of the cornea, right? So we want to keep that like that, but we also want to do the little outline right, and then maybe a couple little pops, just a couple little pops in there. We'll just take it right over the top, right? And there. Okay. Now let's take a little step back. See what we got. Okay. Let's see. I'll do it right here. Don't want to overdo it. I really watch myself. Don't want to overdo it. Doing the dance, right? Doing the dance. Making sure that you're not going to overdo it. I think I'm going to do a little bit of those. See those numbers on Sammy's collar? I don't know if you can see them. He has a little phone number on there. I'm not bringing a red into this because in real life that's maroon. I'm going to add a little bit of just some imperceptible. Just going to see if this works. Do some imperceptible writing. Just to help it. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Actually, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think that will be too much detail. So I'm just going to do a couple hairs over the collar. Just a couple hairs over the collar. So give it some dimension, right? Give it a little dimension. And Sammy has short hair, so I don't want to, or had rather, so I don't want to make it look like he's got long hair. Okay, that works. Sammy, you were a good baby. And I think this is a nice tribute to you. Just do a tiny bit. Right. So here. Tiny bit right on his little eyelashes. Up, up. Below his eye. Right there. Sammy. We have Sammy. We have Sammy here. Here's Sammy. Oh, oh, there's Sammy. There's Sammy. See Sammy there. Oh, you can't see Sammy. I'm sorry. Let's do that. Is that better? Okay, here we go. Sorry about the light. There's Sammy. I'm going to zoom him out. There's our little Sammy baby. And you give me 1 second. I'm just rinsing out my brush. Always rinse your brushes out. And then we have Sammy. Sammy. Cute, huh? Oh, I think I made his snout a little longer, but that's okay. Sammy. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And I'll be back at 12:30 p.m. for a quiet time art. Bye.